Hello there and welcome beautiful people to another video here on my YouTube channel. If you're new to my channel, welcome, it's great to have you here. My name is Anais and usually I make videos about Kubernetes and getting started in the DevOps space because just 10 months ago I had no idea what Docker or Kubernetes was, and then I started a challenge called 100 Days of Kubernetes where we aim to learn something new related to Kubernetes across 100 days. Now in this episode I want to spend some time sharing some of the tips of things that I wish I would have known when I just got started learning about Kubernetes. So here are my 10 tips of things that you could or could consider doing when you're just getting started. A lot of the questions I get are around how do I get started? What resources can I use? Where do I start? How do I know where to start? And similar, right? And those are really difficult questions. Now my top suggestion, my number one suggestion is start anywhere. It doesn't matter where you start. Start looking at different newsletters and podcasts because those newsletters and podcasts will mention other resources. They will refer to different people in the space whom you can follow on Twitter, for example. They will refer to different conference talks and blog posts. And that will allow you to explore more content and then just explore from there and start your learning process from there. It will give you a starting point. So if you don't know where to start, just Google keywords and see what pops up. And then try to find the resources that you are most comfortable with based on your level of expertise, based on what you want to learn, and similar. There's really no right answer for everybody. Where should you start? Maybe you have been running Kubernetes in production for years and you might just want to detail your understanding, the theory behind it. Or maybe you're just getting started, you're fresh out of college. I can't give you an answer to where you should start, but that's my suggestion. Just try to keep an eye out on those accumulated resource lists of, for example, newsletters. You can subscribe to my newsletter, link below, going out on a weekly basis with free online learning resources from across the space from amazing people such as yourself. Number 2, start using tools as early as possible. Now, when I get started with new content, new topics, new subjects, new things I want to learn, I tend to avoid using tools. And I just follow whatever works. And that's not the most effective way usually of doing things. That's usually not the way that people do things when they work in a production environment, right? So I highly suggest you to use tools. My number 3 top tools that I would highly suggest you when you're just getting started with Kubernetes are first, kubectx. If you have lots of different demo environments, demo clusters, kubectx will allow you to quickly switch between them. Number 2, use K9s. It takes a bit of time to get familiar with it and quickly navigate the different spaces, but once you are, it will be so handy to understand what's going on within your cluster, use the different resources, explore the state of the different resources and similar. When I got started with K9s, I did a video on that, linked up there, and you can check that out. I can make another comprehensive tutorial on it if you would like to, but K9s is one of those tools that really allow you to understand what's going on within your cluster and not just treat it like a black box. Number 3 is the tool that I explored in my previous video called Day3. Now Day3 allows you to really explore best practices for your Kubernetes manifests. Now, I wish I would have used that tool when I got started writing Kubernetes YAML files, manifests, because it can really improve the quality of them. Additionally, I would even go as far as saying that using tools and practicing the skill of getting on-ramp with new tools really quickly is far more important for employment when you're seeking employment within the space than any qualification, any sort of certificates. Because just because you know the theory, the nitty-gritty details behind a tool, behind the technology, doesn't mean you understand how to use it, and it doesn't mean you can work and quickly learn new skills within a work environment. However, if you focus on learning new tools, you can explore them within your interviews as well. You can detail them, you can elaborate on them, you can write tutorials on them and similar. And that will show so much more skills in many cases than you having a certificate with your name on it. Number 3, and this one is a highly controversial one, but I suggest everybody to really put yourself out there. If you're asking questions within the community often doesn't know what you're working on, your enthusiasm on the topic, and where you want to go from there. The things that you already learned and the things that you want to learn. However, if you document your learning journey, other people can collaborate and see what you're working on, provide you suggestions, and also get suggestions from you. So putting yourself out there can get you lots and lots of new opportunities. All of the opportunities that I got within the space are solely because I was working in public, because I was sharing what I was working on. And this leads me to point 4. You can really not learn everything. There's no way possibly that you can learn everything within this vast space. And that's coming from me. I mentioned at the beginning that I just have been started to learning Kubernetes and Docker about 10 months ago. Before that I was working in the blockchain space. And those two spaces are quite different in terms of the technologies that I've been using, right? Now, a lot of the people that I'm working with have years and years, sometimes even decades worth of experience. I'm not that old, I don't have that. And that's not to say that my coworkers are old. If you're watching this, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that I cannot possibly be expected to know things that somebody who had years and years learning about the topic has, right? So just really take it easy, take one day at a time, take one learning opportunity at a time, and build your skills up from there. You don't have to learn everything at once. You can start with one area, one topic, and then once you're comfortable with that, start to expand. Now my tip number 5 is really ask questions. I wish I would have asked more questions when I got started in this space. Now, I did the mistake. I tried to learn a lot of things by myself. I'm a person with a lot of pride, and I want to think and I want to figure things out by myself. Now, the problem is, if you aim to learn things solely by yourself, well, there are questions that will pop up in your mind and you're like, it's probably such and such, right? But you might not understand the nitty-gritty details of that or the answer behind that question. A lot of times asking questions can be off-putting because the answer might be obvious all of a sudden, or because you don't know how to ask those questions. But that's actually a really important skill. The more questions you ask and the more answers you get, the more comfortable you will be in starting to tailor your questions appropriately to get the answer that you're looking for, basically. A lot of tools, a lot of companies and projects within the cloud native space have Slack communities, public Slack communities that you can join right now and ask questions in. And there are lots of community members who sometimes even spend hours explaining me tools and concepts that I struggled with. And that's not mansplaining, but it's generally them trying to help me out most of the time, if not all of the time. So I highly encourage you to join those different communities, get involved, ask questions. If you were not sure where to start, join our Discord community, which is linked below at community.100daysofkubernetes.io. There are lots of amazing community members who would love to help you out. Number 6, copy-paste as much as possible. There's really no shame in copy-pasting. There's no judgment going on here, as long as you give the other people whom you're copy-pasting from credit for their work. A lot of times when we copy-paste, we can understand the topic, the tool in different ways, the technology in different ways, that other people are using it. Now, I don't suggest you to blindly copy-paste, but try to understand what you're copy-pasting, and by trying to understand it, the process that you're going through, you will maybe understand the tool and the use case a bit better. Number 7, write more. Now, writing more can have lots of different benefits. It can help you to become better in communicating. When you're better in communicating, you become better in collaborating with other people, and you become more influential as a person who other people want to work with. It will also help you, by you documenting what you're working on, to articulate your work better. So when you do file a PR, or you make a suggestion or feature request, you know better how to express yourself and how to detail what you want to work on or what the feature entails. Lastly, when you're documenting what you're working on, you also improve your technical skills. Nobody wants to document a shitty feature hack, right? Sorry for the expression. But nobody wants to detail that they have done a really ugly hack in a repository just to make something work. However, by you documenting your beautiful solution, your beautiful technical solution, it will not only become visible to other people that you are the one who came up with it, but you will spend more effort on actually the technical solution itself and making it properly. Number 8, practice as much as possible. There's really nothing that can replace you practicing how to use a tool, how to use a platform, how to use a technology. A lot of times when people ask me months after I've looked into something what I think about this tool or how something works in detail, I don't know anymore because I haven't been practicing it. So there's really no shame in you, and I actually encourage you to practice the same thing over and over again, because ultimately experts in our field are just the people who have done something often enough. Number 9, utilize opportunities. There are so many opportunities by the CNCF, by other foundations in the space such as the CD Foundation, and by a lot of different companies and community members. By you working in public, which I suggested earlier, putting yourself out there, you will access more opportunities. So just keep an open eye out for those, for different ambassadorships, in different ways that you can maybe collaborate also with other community members on conference talks, on blog posts, and similar. And number 10 is really just keep going. A lot of times when I stop working on content, when I take a break from it, or a lot of personal or external things happen that prevent me from creating content, it's difficult for me to get back to it and keep going because of imposter syndrome and because I don't quite know what's actually valuable to you. What kind of content do you want to see? If any suggestions, by the way, just comment it below, it would be highly appreciated. So my 10th suggestion, also for myself as well as for you, just keep going, keep using tutorials, keep building your own tutorials, get involved with the community. Now I really hope this little video was useful to you and you can maybe draw some inspiration from some of the points that I've discussed. If it was useful, please do remember to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for upcoming videos. If you have any questions, thoughts, anything you would like to share around those topics, maybe join my live stream tomorrow where we'll be talking more about the different points, as well as more specifically about getting certifications versus practicing to use tools and use cases specifically. I've also detailed all of the points in my blog, link below, where you can also sign up to my weekly DevOps newsletter. Now I hope to see you in one of my upcoming videos. Have a lovely day. Bye bye.